if they're running quick attack hyper beam, that's awesome. They actually are. That is so awesome and so bad for me at the same time. That's awesome. I can't be mad at that.
What's happening, everybody? KingGBL here, and welcome back to some Go Battle League. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing some very fun battles I had today and yesterday with quick attack hyperbeam Diggersby. As you guys seen from the opening clip, we ended up facing off against the world champ Axen. By the way guys, Axen has started YouTube, and of course he streams on Twitch, so I will link those in the description down below there. We had a lot of very fun battles, and you're going to see in this video today that a lot of the team compositions, a lot of the leads, and a lot of the Pokemon that we were facing were very unfavorable for this team. However, with quick attack and hyperbeam, and being able to overcome some of those leads, I was able to win a lot of matches, and I went very positive yesterday, including a 5-0, and went very positive today as well. If you have been watching my videos this week, you'll know that the Diggersby propaganda has been out in full force. Absolutely love this Pokemon. I have been recommending all week that you run this Pokemon on Mudshot and Fire Punch, which I think overall is the most optimal moveset. However, when everybody is running Fire Punch, and everybody expects you to be on Fire Punch, a lot of Hyper Beams go unrespected. Now because I faced Axen yesterday, a lot of people respected the Hyper Beam today. I think a lot of people seen his stream, seen his Vigoroth getting Hyper Beamed, and probably decided to respect it whenever they queued into me, which is fair enough. I think if you run the same for yourself though, you will most likely land those moves. The thing that's really cool about this team is Pidgeot hits like an absolute truck, Vigoroth of course can draw shields as well, and we actually get a catch here in this matchup right here. It was kind of lucky, because I was getting lag, and had I caught whenever I wanted to, I wouldn't have made the catch, so lag actually helping for once. But yeah, like I said, I think if you run it for yourself, people will most likely let the Hyper Beam go. It's especially useful for like a Mantine. You can flip a Mantine, you can flip a Quagsire if you land the Hyper Beam, you can flip Vigoroth. There's a lot of matchups where it just comes in super clutch. You're even going to see that with Charge Bug, if you have a low health Diggersby, getting one of those Hyper Beams off instead of 2 Scorching Sands, or what would normally be 2 Fire Punches, is very, very vital. All of the battles I'm showcasing today are handpicked, difficult leads, awkward teams, so you're going to see how you can basically overcome the worst of the worst with this team. As you see, we're loading up the Hyper Beam. Will they put it respected? Absolutely not. And at this point guys, I think I actually might even 2-shield quick attack down here. What I would recommend against Mantine is probably to shield the first Water Pulse. The opponent just quits the match saying, you know what, I seen what you done there buddy, GG's, I'm not taking part. Bro did not want to see the end of that story. As you can see in the next battle here, we have a Skeledirge lead. It's a pretty neutral match. It depends if they respect the move or not. If they don't respect the Brave Bird, they get one shot. If they let the earliest go, it can be a little bit tricky. It's pretty much a 50-50. I was trying to catch a move here on the Diggersby, which I successfully do. Now normally Vigoroth would be your safe swap, but because I'm using quick attack and hyper beam, I'm safe swapping Diggersby, just basically to draw out a Mantine, draw out a Quagsire, and try to catch people off guard. In comes a Fairthorn. This is where not having this, Fire Punch is a little bit worse. The opponent gets off a move here, we live it, we got the attack drop as well. 2 Scorching Sands gets this relatively low, so this isn't the worst in the world, but of course I would rather have Fire Punch in this situation. The opponent's still forced to throw, they throw on a CMP tie. I can basically let this move go, come in with Pidgeot, maybe actually decide to come into Vigoroth here, because I thought that 2 wing attacks would not knock out. I did not want the opponent to get off a Thunder, and in comes Girafarig here. We're going to go for 5 and throw for good timing here, and because we're up a shield, we should be in a pretty decent position. The opponent lets him move through, and I think right here, I can just either let this go, counter it down. I decide to counter it down. I swap into the Pidgeot right here, because of course the Incinerate damage will be boosted with my defense dropped. They come in here, we go for a couple of Incinerates, we do make it to an earliest, and that should be basically game over. Lucky enough we were able to make that, bang, goodbye Skeledirge, and back in comes Giraffe. So I would say Skeledirge, pretty average lead, not too awkward, not too bad. You can definitely fight against it, however we cannot fight against this, we have to swap. We come into our hard answer. So what you're going to be doing is coming into your hard answer here, which is normally not what you're supposed to do, but because we're doing this unconventional thing here today, we're coming straight into it, we're landing Hyper Beams on Mantines, and I'm going to shield up the first Water Pulse. Like a potato, a few times I let the Water Pulse go, but if you just shield up the first one, you can take the second one, and pretty much quick attack the whole way down. Now what I actually was thinking here is ABA Electric. I've seen this team with Mantine before. I decided to 2-shield Diggersby. I don't necessarily recommend that you do that. In comes Vigoroth. Will they respect the Hyper Beam? They've seen it once. Yeah, of course they respect it, of course they respect it. I come into my own Vigoroth here, because I want to try and save my Diggersby for their Stunfisk if possible. I'm going to overfarm here as much as possible, go for Body Slam. I am expecting the opponent to go for a shield here, and we should be pretty much fine here. The only thing that might be a little bit tricky is if we bring in Pidgeot, the opponent is not locked into this matchup. We do have all shields down, my Diggersby's got about 65-70% health, probably 65. The opponent actually stays in here to build up some energy. I go straight for the Brave Bird, and I'm hoping with this charge move I can pretty much think about getting out of here. Yeah, I think the opponent stayed in a little bit too long. They needed to get straight out, lock in my Pidgeot, but fortunately for me, they did not do that. The opponent goes for CMP tie here. I know the opponent's banked energy, so I want to overfarm as much as possible here. I do free and throw on the Scorching Sands, and I'm basically going to force the opponent either to dump energy or to, of course, go for a farm down. We make it to a last second Scorching Sands, so that's going to be good games. Very, very close matchup in the end. An electric lead against our Pidgeot, and we were able to overcome it. Now guys, the match you've probably been waiting for, it's myself versus Axen. Who's going to win this matchup? Terrible lead here. We're going to come into Diggersby. We're coming into our hard answer, and in comes Vigoroth. Right here. We've seen the clip at the start of the video. He's going to go for this move right away. What I decide to do here is do 4 and throw, which is basically 1 before he reaches the body slam. I'm trying not to be too suspicious. I think that Axen might predict it, but he actually lets that through, and we can take a swap. Now right here, what I could consider doing is shielding. I know I love the move, so I decide to let it go. In comes Trevenant. Unfortunately, the best thing I can do is throw Scorching Sands. Now at this point in the match, I think this is game over, because I've debuffed him, he's farming me down. But with buffed Seed Bomb, he actually comes in here to the Charge-a-Bug. I think what I needed to do was either stay in and go for a chip on the Pidgeot, or just get out immediately. I give him an energy lead, which is not the greatest idea. I only go for Body Slam, I don't build up to the move. He lets it go, probably knowing it's just a Body Slam. I was trying to basically Body Slam it into counter and wing attack down range. I think I should have built up to the move, and he might have respected it, or like I said, I could have chipped or got out a little bit sooner. Now I'm in a tricky position here. I overfarm too much here, allowing him to get off another move. So I think I've made 2 or 3 big mistakes in this match, and right here, I go for a CMP tie. Now what I was hoping was that Axen would be on 1 HP, unfortunately he is not, and he's able to get off this move. Now with buff Seed Bomb, you're going to see that Trevenant can do some work here, but the Trevenant actually got a decent amount of farm before. We CMP in the Aurelius. If he's not at back-to-back moves, I win this match right here. Of course Pidgeot can take the Seed Bomb, it does a lot of damage, and all we need to do is just tap the move and we should be fine. However, unfortunately, he just got a little bit too much energy, and he was able to CMP there again. Good games to Axen there. Really, really close battle. Of course, in that match, very negative lead. I flipped it with Diggersby. However, I just made a few sort of bad decisions in the matchup, which allowed Axen to win, and of course, he played it very well. Big shout out to Axen. I watched the match back on his stream, and he was very complimentary, so big thank you to him. I probably could learn a thing or two from him, because I do be talking trash out here. But Axen is very gracious in victory and defeat, so big shout out to him. Anyway guys, in the next battle here, we do have the Talonflame. The opponent YOLOs the Brave Bird. I Brave Bird, they Brave Bird. Nobody's messing around here. And we're going to look to go for a Body Slam. This will knock out because they're of course debuffed. And we're up a shield. So I'm pretty happy with this. We get alignment. In comes Lickitung. The opponent gets some farm, so I don't want to allow them to necessarily power whip my Diggersby. For some reason I think because they have Talonflame lead, Diggersby should be pretty good in the back. I'm going to go straight for the Brave Bird here. We overfarm as much as we can. Go for a Brave Bird. And of course this will be getting the Licky very low. Bang! Does a lot of damage to Lickitung. And in comes Superior. So I'm really happy I kept my Pidgeot alive. And you're going to see here that this is another great thing about Hyper Beam. They can actually live 2 Fire Punches from Diggersby. However, 1 Hyper Beam gets them super, super low. And because we're in Quick Attack, we're doing a lot of fast move pressure. The opponent will not be able to overfarm too much. We actually might win this farm down race. The opponent started getting a little bit scared there. And of course through the Leaf Tornado, knowing they probably only get off 1 move in the Pidgeot, they don't get off any moves on the Pidgeot, and back in comes the low health Licky. Good games well played there. Once again, Hyper Beam just coming in super clutch, and was able to help us win that game. Hopping into the next battle, we have Pidgeot versus Kingdra. Now Kingdra is one of the most awkward leads for this team. This team typically comes with things like Toxapex, it typically comes with things like Lickitung in the back. This team in general is very awkward. I've seen them with Poliwraths in the back. I've lost against Kingdra lead the vast majority of times I've played against it. Until I started figuring out, okay, what I need to do is stay in with Pidgeot, throw double Aurelius, get both shields off the opponent, or if the opponent debuffs me with Octazooka, sometimes they let the second ace go because they can comfortably live it. That is the best case scenario. So I recommend if you're using this team, you get a Kingdra lead, stay in, shield up 1 Octazooka, get off 2 aces, and you actually hope that you get debuffed, because if you get debuffed, they may let the second Octazooka go. Anyway guys, in this match, we do end up taking alignment here, which is great, and we can just basically put the Diggersby on the Lantern. I'm expecting the opponent to make a swap at some point. They do have some energy on the Kingdra. The opponent does make the swap, we go straight for the Scorching Sands, and basically what I'm looking to do here is get this off, either take them out or get the final shield. Come into Pidgeot, I'm going to sacrifice it. I decided not to throw my move there. I think they win CMP anyway. But I decide I don't want to give the Lantern an energy lead by taking them out. I'm going to quick attack the whole way down. The opponent will not reach a further move, and that's going to be good games. So that team was not a typical Kingdra team, but that should give you some insight. You have to stay in at the very least and chip it once with Pidgeot, and then come into your safe swap. I don't think you safe swap Diggersby into Kingdra. I think you have to keep it in the back in those cases, because a lot of times it can be Charge Bug in the back also, which you want to keep your Diggersby alive for. So I recommend staying in, throwing 2 aces, hopefully they no shield the second one. After you get off the second one, come straight into your Vigoroth, and hopefully you should be in a good position. They usually meet the Vigoroth with a Toxapex. At that point, you can get it quite low. You can finish it off with Diggersby, get an energy lead, and then you should be basically set for the match. Once again, guys, we do hyperbeam the Mantine, and because the opponent here is only going for Aerial Ace, I can actually let this move go and try to quick attack it the whole way down. We quick attack it the whole way down, and we come out with a hyperbeam. Hyperbeam is locked and loaded. The opponent's down a shield. Will they respect the second hyperbeam? In comes Quagsire. These Pokemon are very difficult for my backline, but not anymore. We're just absolutely nuking them with hyperbeam. I just had too much fun with this. I go for a CMP tie here on a potential Aqua Tail or Stone Edge. Probably Aqua Tail, of course. In comes Vigoroth, in comes my own, and that's good games. You're just seeing Diggersby just sweeping things that has absolutely no business to sweep. Diggersby just basically swept a Mantine and a Quagsire by itself. That should not be happening. Once again, in the next battle we have a Skelly. I do find this to be awkward, but again, we're going to go for Ace. They call it sometimes they don't. I'm a big fan of full sending the Brave Bird. I go for the catch in Diggersby. Diggersby being a great damage sponge, and of course drawing out something in the back. I'm expecting them to go for a swap at some point, and in comes Vigoroth. They give us a massive energy lead. They go for the body slam right here. Now the question is, does the opponent know about the hyper beam? Did they see the video yesterday? Did they catch it? I throw the move right away, as to not be too suspicious about it. Bang! That does a lot of damage. And at this point right here, I can just, actually not even shield, I can just quick attack down. Back in comes Trevenant, in comes Pidgeot, and the opponent concedes immediately. Just hard RPS there once I take that Pokemon out. Like, that shouldn't have been RPS, right? But as soon as I get that hyper beam through, it's just basically curtains, right? Pidgeot versus... Sorry, I didn't see what came in here. We throw an ace on the Pelipper, okay. So this is going to be Pelipper, Diggersby, and Charge-a-Bug. So I know I've got a bad Pokemon waiting in the back for me. The opponent goes for 2 moves here. I'm happy enough to shield up one of these. And what the opponent does here is quite surprising. They actually come straight into their hard check, and I come into Diggersby. So as I mentioned a couple of days ago, if you're running Pelipper lead, your opponents automatically know what the team's going to be. The team's super popular. I showcased it, Junk has showcased it, a lot of people are using it. It's a very common and well-known team. So I don't necessarily recommend using this team anymore because based on the lead that I seen in this matchup, I knew, okay, Charge-a-Bug in the back, Pidgeot's gonna have a tough time there. They have a Diggersby in the back as well, so if I can get my Diggersby on their Charge-a-Bug, my Pidgeot on their Diggersby, and of course Vigoroth just can go anywhere in this team, I'm basically fine. So if you guys do want to use this team, I recommend using it with Mantine. Check out the Mantine video I showcased where we basically just replace Pelipper with Mantine, and it's a much less obvious team. Now we're going to go for Scorching Sands on CMP here, unfortunately. The opponent goes straight for Fire Punch, but of course I'm really happy with this. I get the alignment I want, I've got a bunch of energy with Pidgeot. I go straight for the Brave Bird. I think optimally I should go for probably double Ace, right? I think that's probably a little bit better, but we do make it to an Ace anyway. So maybe Ace first, Brave Bird second. I thought the opponent might have called it, that's perfectly fine. Now we're up a shield with the Vigoroth right here. Now the sad thing here is, with Mud Shot and Scorching Sands, 2 Scorching Sands plus Mud Shots will not allow the farm down. I was anticipating the catch. We go straight for the Rock Slide to knock out the Pelipper. And right here, like I said, we can easily tank another one. If you're trying to judge the damage, you should look at the health that you're on. I'm still in the green. I think the opponent has probably experienced this before as well. It's just an impossible farm down. In the next matchup here, Tricky lead, does very well into my Diggersby and my Vigoroth. I'm going to go straight for the Brave Bird. Now, I had an Azu shield this, bang! They actually shielded it, so that makes things a little bit awkward. I decide to let this first move go. It is a Play Rough, does roughly about 40%. And of course, with the boosted bubble damage from, I think 2 seasons ago at this point, Azu is bubbling down my Vigoroth at a fast rate here. We're going to go straight for another Body Slam. I'm pretty happy the opponent allows me to get this off. And I don't really know what the opponent's trying to do here at this point. Are they staying in? Do they have a hard answer to the thing in the back? I'm thinking, like, could it be Charge-a-Bug in the back? The opponent comes into Diggersby. We go for a CMP tie here on the Fire Punch, and I'm pretty happy with this. Now, the way I play this match is unconventional, just because the opponent played it in a weird way. I swapped out, they didn't come into a swap, so at this point I'm thinking, like, is it double weak to counter in the back? Could it be like a Ferrothorn? Like, what is going to be back there? I just really can't figure this out. The opponent's played this in such an interesting way that I just can't figure out what they're doing. I go straight for the Hyper Beam. The opponent, of course, did not get the debuff, so this will knock out the Diggersby from almost half health. That does so much damage. And back in comes Azu. So I'm thinking, like, okay, are you weak to Diggersby? Are you weak to Pidgeot? What are you weak to? I'm just going to shield. I'm confused. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I don't think I can quick attack down. I'm going to go for Scorching Sands. Just show me what you have in the back. I have no idea what you're trying to do here. They come into a Charge-a-Bug. So I'm like, okay, this is still very winnable here. I maybe need to get a catch on the Pidgeot. I definitely need to land a Hyper Beam here. We go for the catch, we do make the catch on the X-Scissor. The opponent built up to back-to-back, which is oftentimes a good time to throw the move. They do one and throw on the potential discharge here, which of course they will go for. Oh, they go for X-Scissor to get the farm down, that makes sense. And now this is a question, guys. This is a question. Can we reach the Hyper Beam before they get to 2 X-Scissors? Bang, one comes through. Doesn't quite knock us out. I go for good timing here, because if the opponent reaches the move at the same time as me, they're going to win CMP, right? So I might as well just do the extra one anyway, just in case the Hyper Beam leaves them on 1 HP, they get to a move. I lose CMP, so if they're at the move, they win no matter what. I might as well do the extra one, just to guarantee the knockout. Giraffe Rig, awkward lead. We come in to the Diggersby after throwing a move. Now guys, I decide to shield this move right here. This is going to be a Trailblaze. That does so much damage, you would be surprised how much that does. It does a lot. I've seen that move land before. The opponent built up to 5. I decided to respect it, because everybody throws the Psychic Fangs. The opponent comes into Lickitung. This is absolutely not even close to an answer to Diggersby, especially not with Quick Attack, especially not with Hyper Beam. This is going to absolutely destroy them. And at this point I'm like, power whip me, big boy. Power whip me, daddy. The opponent obliges. We live that move comfortably, and we come into Pidgeot. Right here, I can easily tank a Body Slam. I just decide I want to build up to 2 moves here pretty much. I can just earliest whatever comes in, whether it be Giraffe, whether it be their back Pokemon. Giraffe sort of move before the left, so I'm just going to throw this move right away. Bang! They go for a CMP tie. I decide I hate this Giraffe, I just want to get rid of it. Psychic Fangs coming in. They're going to end up debuffing whichever Pokemon I bring in next. I just don't want to deal with it. We'll get rid of the Giraffe, and the opponent comes into a Toxapex. So still a little bit awkward. I wait down my switch clock, I still have some energy with Diggersby, and we basically need to get this move off. Ideally, I would love to get an attack drop, but I don't think we necessarily need it. We come into the Vigoroth, we've got them down to 50%. We can comfortably tank any one move here. Pretty much what this match comes down to is, do they survive 2 Body Slams? If they do, this could be very tricky. I'm farming up as much as possible. This next Body Slam is going to be in CMP. How much will this do? It does more than half, so I'm pretty happy here at this point. I wanted to optimize my energy as much as possible, make sure that whenever I throw the move, it's going to be enough to knock it out, and thankfully it was. Good games well played there. We do get a free 2 and that's it. Today I had 4 free 2s and a 2 free. Yesterday, if I remember correctly, I had a 5-0, a 4-1, and I think a 2 free perhaps at the end. So pretty decent as well yesterday. Body Slam coming in from the Vigoroth here. This is like a 50-50. I tend to believe that whenever you shield their first move, the opponents tend to be a lot more likely to no-shield the Brave Bird, just because they've already got a shield off you. I do believe Pidgeot wins that match going straight ace in the 2s, so like their incentive to shield is a little bit lower whenever they've already got a shield off you, and whenever you can just basically spam out earliest and win the match anyway. Anyway, the opponent comes into a Charjabug. We're going to go for Body Slams here. Pretty much I just want to get this thing low. I can't really shield this move right here, and I'm going to wait down my switch clock as much as possible. I think my switch clock should be about 75% complete here. As you can see, the Pidgeot is coming back up quite soon, and in comes Kingdra. This is honestly perfect because I wanted to chip this here anyway. The quick attacks are adding up a lot more in the Kingdra, and I actually decided to stay in and chip twice because I pretty much want to leave my Pidgeot in a position where I can just throw a move and even potentially get off a move on the Charjabug. I think even what I'm contemplating at this point is, do I shield a move here, overfarm, and then go for a Brave Bird? I end up going for a Brave Bird right here. The reason being is because I want the Charjabug to farm me down quicker, so they don't get a bunch of energy. However, if I didn't Brave Bird, I would have made it to an ace, so I misremembered how much health Charjabug had. Had I just known it was on low health, I could have just double earliest. Now at this point, the opponent's going to go for a CMP tie here. I've completely thrown this match. They're going to go for X-Scissor. We actually live it on 1 HP, and that's just absolute perfection right here. Diggersby too thick. I've been using this Pokemon all week, and to be honest with you guys, I'm very tempted to use it in Open Great League next week as well. A lot of people ask me, should I build Diggersby? Like, I recommend building it, but it's not as great in Open Great League. It's good in limited metas, and in this particular limited meta, it's fantastic. It's not always very good in limited metas. Diggersby definitely in a weird spot. It doesn't have as many targets anymore. I do think with Lantern being nerfed, Charjabug is going to be a lot more common. I do think with Whiscash being nerfed, Quagsire is going to be a lot more common as well. And I also think because Lantern's been nerfed, Mantine might see a spot in the meta a little bit more often as well. So there is a lot of potential for Quick Attack Hyper Beam Diggersby in the Open Great League meta. Now as you can see, we had a Kingdra lead, and I decided to play it the different way this time. I just kept losing to this team, so I decided I have to readjust, I have to try something different. As you can see now, we have a low health Pidgeot, we have a full health Diggersby, we have the Toxapex and the Vigoroth, which of course is not great. But the good thing is, I've seen this team of Lickitung quite often. Pidgeot can still do something against the Licky, or if it's a mud boy. The Kingdra is in super low health, so this position we're in now is just a lot better than it usually is. We go for this move on CMP time. I'm very happy to get rid of this here. Now all I basically need to do is make sure that the opponent does not catch on me. The opponent comes into a Lickitung. I just don't want to mess around here. So what I decide to do is just overfarm as much as possible. The opponent goes for the catch. We're going to go for Scorching Sands number 1, however the opponent does not want to see it, and that's good games. Now once again, another Kingdra lead. We're going to play this out a little bit. We're going to go for earliest number 1. This will look to, of course, pretty much one-shot the Kingdra. They have to shield, and of course the opponent does. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to go for earliest number 2. The opponents usually throw before I reach the second one. Octazooka, does it get the debuff? We actually do get the debuff this time. Now, because I've got a debuff, I'm double debuffed, right? The opponent's going to leave here on like 10 Dragon Breaths, meaning that the Kingdra is super low, and once again we draw out the Toxapex. So as you're seeing here, this is probably going to be the exact same team again. Shadow Kingdra in the lead, basically to RPS the lead, and then 2 bulky Pokemon in the back in Lickitung and Toxapex. All I need to do here is get this thing low. We'll see what the opponent wants to do here. They go straight for Brine, so they're actually letting me get them super low. However, my Pidgeot is probably still healthy enough to reach a move, so what I'm most likely going to do is come in here and threaten the knockout with Pidgeot, and then look to try and sweep with Diggersby. Yep, these wing attacks definitely would be hurting more than the jabs, and Brian's coming in to, of course, take me out. I'm going to go for a quick attack down. I decide it's probably Licky in the back. Power Bubble will hurt more, and I'm pretty much happy with this. That Brian does nothing. In comes Lickitung, the aggro swap, meaning that we don't have to worry about a catch, we don't have to worry about anything here. From this range, we can still survive a Power Whip. I don't have to shield. Scorching Sun's coming in, we don't get the debuff, and the opponent goes for the move here. This probably could be a Power Whip, but I decide, like, I'm not shielding this, bro. We're going to go for a Hyper Beam next time, which will threaten the knockout. The opponent knows that they can live another Scorching Sands. I'm not messing about, I'm full sending, bang, goodbye Lickitung. We're going to farm it the whole way down, not before they reach another move though. We'll shield up the move. The Kingdra is super low. We're going to quick attack everything down at this point. Kingdra comes in, quick attack down. Back in comes Toxapex, it's going to get quick attack down as well. They're completely dry and that's good games. Once again guys, a negative lead in Kingdra. We're going to try to do the exact same thing again. Earliest one, bang, that's going to get the shield. We're going to stay in here and look to basically shield up their move. Now once again, it is kind of funny. I want to get debuffed here because they'll no shield the move. I just want to get this low, that's all I want to do. I'm trying to get Kingdra low. We go for an ace. Yep, they let it through, and this is perfect. We can come into Vigoroth, try to farm them down, they're not going to reach a move, and back in comes Toxapex once again. Now this opponent plays it slightly differently, they go for a Sludge Wave at the end. If I were them, I definitely probably would have just went for the Brine, to be fair. They get off a Brine on the Diggersby. Now the difference here is, they're basically dry at this point, so I can just quick attack the whole way down. This is a massive quick attack down. Now I'm expecting the opponent to go for a Peekaboo play, I overfarm and overfarm. I realise they're just staying in. I know that if I swap into Pidgeot, I reach a move and grab the shield no matter what, so this is basically fine. We go for Brave Bird here. The opponent cannot shield all of my nukes. Bang! They shield the Brave Bird, but Diggersby is waiting in the back with 100 energy. We're not even in Power Whip range. I'm going to go straight for the Hyper Beam. This is going to land for heavy damage. I'm not shielding anything. The opponent can Power Whip if they want to. It really does not matter at this point. Power Whip coming in. They're going to need 2 Body Slams to take me out here. I go for Scorching Sands and that's GG's. So yeah, you're seeing that a very difficult matchup is now a matchup that we have a game plan for. My recommendation to you guys is if you feel like you're getting algorithmed, you feel like you're just facing teams that you can't beat, right? You need to come up with a plan and come up with a strategy. If what you're doing is not working, you have to try to readjust, try to think of something different. Don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and saying, oh, the algorithm's out to get me, guys. I just can't win this. Well, if you're going to do the exact same thing over and over again, of course you're going to lose. Now look at the situation we've got. Hard countered in the lead, hard countered on the swap. I just automatically lose, right? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The opponent goes for Icy Wind. I'm going to overfarm as much as I can here. I'm going to try to throw just before they reach the move. And because we have neutral damage into the Charjabug, I think we still have a chance here, right? We do 1 and swap because we don't take any damage, and in comes Quagsire. We throw this move right off on CMP. So what you're seeing is the opponent had a Charjabug for my Pidgeot, they had a Poliwrath for my Vigoroth, and they had a Quagsire for my Diggersby. Like, that is hard counter, guys. That is absolute hard counter. Or in this case, of course, they put the Poliwrath on the Diggersby. Complete hard counter. I should be losing this game, right? But as you're witnessing in these battles, we're getting a foothold one way or another. We're getting energy lead. The reason that I have any play in these battles whatsoever is because I'm getting an energy lead. I'm coming up with a strategy. I'm seeing these teams that are really tricky for me, trying to come up with a team plan. I no shield the Aqua Tail, like, you have to make some crazy calls sometimes, right? In comes the Charjabug. We're going to go for a Brave Bird. This will look to one-shot the Charjabug, get off my screen, and we farm down the Quag. So a battle here that is complete and utter RPS hard counter. We still managed to win that match because I don't just give up, I don't cry about it, I come up with a plan, try to win the match, try to get energy, I'm counting the opponent's fast moves, I'm throwing in good timing, I'm doing everything that I can possibly do. Now, in these types of matchups, I think the one mistake that the opponent made here was shielding the hyperbeam. If they don't shield the hyperbeam, I think I'm in a much worse position here. But assuming that you lose lead, lose game, is assuming that you can't make any good plays, and that your opponent will not make any mistakes, which is never the case. Anyway guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. I highly recommend this team. I think it's a very strong one. And if you guys are looking for a team for the final couple of days of Summer Cup, I've showcased like 5, 6, 7 really good teams this week. Go check out any of the teams and see what you like the look of. I think if you use any of these teams, listen to the tactics, listen to the strategies, optimize your move timing, do everything that you can possibly do, you'll find that you're able to overcome a lot of these bad matchups, and suddenly it's going to become very clear and obvious why you weren't able to do things well before, and why people that you're watching are able to do super well. You'll start to notice, like, if I just optimize things, I can actually overcome these bad matches, and what was a 10 out of 25 day, a 7 out of 25 day, suddenly becomes a 13, a 14, and that makes all the difference, guys. Optimize your fast move timing, count the opponent's fast moves, try to get an energy lead. If there's a team that the opponent's using that keeps beating you, try something different, see if that works out for you, and you'll have a lot more success. Thanks everybody, have a fantastic rest of your day, thank you very much for watching, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time.